Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Taurus Tech Talk. For myself, Robert Parsons, my co-host, Corey Church. Today, we have joining us Miss Chevas King.
Woo!
Chevas is a part of our sales team. She's been with us now for 14 years.
Yeah,
14
like
years.
14 and a half.
It'll be 15 in September. Just
Yeah.
like
I think
you.
we should always round up.
Okay.
If you're in that year, go ahead and round up.
If you're in the same calendar year as your anniversary, I disagree.
We're got like 9 months. I'm still 14. 14 and change.
Yeah,
So it's not like we don't do business tenure the same as like when we were, I'm basically 21. You know, it's not really or is that what we're at in our business careers?
Well, I don't want to diminish Chris Meacham's 15 years that he
Oh,
will
I
get.
see. Yeah, that's cool.
he only gets to call himself 15 for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Whereas, if we're rounding up, you and I are both 15 year also.
That's right.
I
Let's
like
do
it.
it.
I like the idea.
High
You like
five.
the idea?
So Chev, tell us about how you came to be a part of the Taurus family.
Well, I was going to UNT to get my finance degree, and I met a girl named Amanda in one of my classes. We were study buddies, and she said, I work at this cool company, but I'm going to leave. I feel like you should interview there. I think you'd be a really good fit. So she left, and I came and interviewed, and like they say, the rest is history, I guess.
So
she found her replacement before she left.
She found her replacement before Taurus even knew she was leaving, is how I remember.
Oh, that's cool.
I feel like I remember Amanda, though.
Yeah, I
The
think you
blonde,
did.
right?
Curly red hair?
Oh, okay. Well, there were like 3
Yes.
or 4 through that time period.
Well, she wasn't
Amanda,
there.
if you're watching this, I mean, I totally remember
Were
you.
they?
So
Thanks for the job.
Were they all affiliated with Kevin in some way?
I don't remember how Amanda got the job. You wouldn't have worked with her for very long, though, because I took over for her when we both started at basically
Yeah.
the same time. But she was only there like 2 or 3 days a week. So she wasn't, and
yeah,
wasn't
she had
full-time to start
not
with.
to get way too far off on a tangent, but she had met Crystal through some mutual friends that we had.
Oh.
And that's how.
That's not who I'm thinking of then.
No.
It must have been somebody who came along after. Well, obviously after.
So those 14 plus years ago,
Mhm.
you mentioned you graduated from UNT with the finance degree and then came to work for Taurus doing what exactly?
I was originally hired as what you would probably call a receptionist, which was never really what I was going to work for. So we had some conversations about that. And I sent out purchase orders, and I sent out invoices, and I got a review, and I got a promotion, and I got another review, and I got another promotion. And then I was sort of the operations manager, I guess you could call me. I did most things besides program, design, sell, and actually sign checks. But I ordered everything, received everything, staged everything, dealt with all the manufacturers and vendors and all that kind of stuff.
Very cool.
I remember that.
And then one fateful day, someone asked you,
One fateful day, Robert was on vacation, and XTO needed a quote. And I said, hey, Mr. Cooper, they've asked me for this quote, but they're missing some things. I just put them on there, just heads up. And he sort of a light bulb went off, I guess. Oh, she can do more than send purchase orders. And then they asked me if I wanted to go to sales. So my experience was in the purchase order side of it, and all of these things always go together, right? Like,
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason I'm always ordering all this stuff together at the same time, every time. So I just
starting to paint a picture.
starting to paint a picture. So between that and all of my boxes that I was responsible for coordinating, then I started to put some of the pieces together as far as what we were doing.
Very cool.
I want to point out something real quick, just so that everybody is aware of what has happened off screen. Chevas is a magnificent, incredible note taker. If you've ever gone with her to review things with customers or to Infocom, she has pages and pages and notebooks full of notes.
I didn't even look at the paper, Corey.
And so she came in with the notes, and I got frustrated and tore up all of our notes on the questions that we typically ask, and they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I don't remember any of the questions. So we're going to wing it. We're going to figure it out.
Don't worry. Chevas has notes for us.
Sorry,
Yeah.
audience.
So you tell us the answers to our questions, and then we'll ask. No, I'm just kidding. I remember a few of them.
It reminds me of the show that I watched. We're just going to throw out the rundown, and you just wadded up the paper.
Is it called
a few seconds before we started the show?
rundown?
I don't know, whatever it's called. So Chev, we're going to fire away some interesting questions now that we've learned a little bit about how you became a part of the family. And I know that you have those questions in front of you and the answers that you wrote down, but I'd like for it to kind of just come right off the sleeve, okay?
Okay.
The one that's really a heated one that I'm going to go ahead and start with is that we got into a big argument with last time, and I expect it to happen again. Do you consider a hamburger
this is
a sandwich or in a category all by itself?
So it's a touchy question, right? People are really passionate about their
it's
food.
touchy.
That's an excellent question. It's a really thought-provoking question.
So I think that a burger could be considered a sandwich because per the definition, a sandwich is just things stuffed between two pieces of bread.
2 pieces, though, huh?
2 pieces
Okay.
of bread. It doesn't matter what those fillings are. But
So a Big Mac isn't a sandwich.
Well,
it's 2 sandwiches.
it's still stuffed between 2 pieces of bread on,
Yes.
on the peripherals. So then it comes down to, well, it's also considered a light meal when you look at the definition. And I don't want a light meal if I want a burger. If I want a burger, I'm not looking for a sandwich. And if I want a sandwich, I am not looking for a burger. So a burger could be considered a sandwich, but a burger is not a sandwich. It's a burger.
What a great answer.
That's a good answer. I'll spare.
That is a political answer if I've ever heard one.
Absolutely. I'll spare the listeners my rant from
I appreciate
last week.
They
I
can-
still feel the same. Sandwich is a category, and a burger falls within that category.
So when you say, hey, babe, I want a burger, you won't be shocked or sad if she brings you a PB&J sandwich?
I didn't ask for a peanut butter. I wouldn't say, would you please bring me a sandwich if I wanted something specific.
Would you say, would you please bring me a sandwich and then expect a hamburger?
If I said, and this has happened, so this is truthful information. This is not me spinning the narrative to fit my agenda. I have said, would you make me a sandwich, please? And not knowing whether it was going to be peanut butter and jelly, ham, roast beef, turkey, I will admit I did not expect the cheeseburger I didn't get.
Okay, so if you take a loaf of French bread and you cut it down to where it is still technically one piece of bread because it is still connected.
You mean like a hoagie
Sure.
Like a sub.
or a sub sandwich?
Yeah.
Sub sandwich?
I mean, you're saying those words, but
What do they actually mean? They're categories.
I
Chevas clearly researched the fact that the definition is 2 pieces of bread. I heard her say it. I see it written down on the paper.
considered a light meal, the sandwich is. Don't give me a light
Did you go into the
burger.
history? 1612.
No, but don't give me a light
Earl
burger.
of Sandwich.
Burger should be
Actually, there is a Mr. Sandwich.
big and messy. And it was also the name of a town in some state, which I was a little disappointed
Yeah,
about.
Sandwich. It's a northeastern state.
Yes. Was it Pennsylvania?
I believe that is correct.
Yeah. I'm glad I don't live in
Let's
Sandwich.
fact check that one. Let's fact check that one. Let's splash that up on
Where
the
you-
screen.
Sandwich, I'm in love with you.
Where are you from? Sandwich. How about yourself?
Hamburg, Germany.
Are there any other
Chowder.
states that start with a P? I feel like it's a state that starts with a P, but maybe not.
I think.
Pew Nork? Pew York? No, that's not it.
That's not it.
Damn it.
Okay.
I think,
Anyway,
I think
moving
there's
on.
one state.
So, Chev, tell us something.
Listen, I remember one of the questions, and this is one of my
Okay.
favorite questions, and I'm certain she has notes on this one because
Okay.
it was on the paper. Commonly referred to as spirit animal. What do you feel like animal characteristics do you identify with the most,
Animal characteristics, huh?
or an animal?
So I did have to ask my husband because, I have to take polls on these ridiculous questions.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, the question was about what you thought about yourself.
I already had my answer written down.
Okay,
And we
all
will
right.
get to it. But
Okay.
you should know that my husband did tell me I was a unicorn.
Oh, nice.
I know,
So
right?
That's immediate
Fictitious
compliment.
animal?
That's not my answer. And I was like, oh, thanks.
At least he didn't call you a rhinoceros.
Did he have to
which is
give you any definition, or did you automatically accept it as a compliment?
I just accepted it and moved on.
Good. I mean, I would too. That's it. We're done.
My paper says part turtle, part pit bull.
Wow. Like a mythical creature.
That's right. Right on par with
I
the
wish my
unicorn.
Photoshop skills were better.
We're practicing right after this.
Because I'm like, can I put a turtle head
Trying
on
to
a
wrap
pit
my
bull?
head around this.
How it would look. Or do you put a pit bull head in a turtle body?
Let's go pit bull head in a turtle
You want to
body.
unpack it a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm kind of a quiet, introverted person, so I like to hide inside my shell, right, like a turtle does. But I do have a spunky side, and
I think
there's
the
a
term-
bit of pit bull in me also.
I think the common term is snarky.
Snarky.
Yeah.
My daughter said, "What? Where is the pit bull?"
I mean, it's good.
Sometimes you see her, sometimes you don't. It just depends.
Did you tell her just wait?
Just wait.
Just wait.
And like my pit bull, I'm just laying in the shade waiting for something to happen.
Oh, nice.
I think there's a little pit bull in everybody, given the appropriate circumstances.
There should be.
I'm like 13% scared right now, sitting on this side of the table.
So your husband said unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
There has been a long running joke with my wife and I and our daughter Lily. Before she was ever born, I was like, maybe she'll deliver the girly wanting to get your nails done thing that Laurel would like to do with her and car stuff with me. And so from that point on, I was like, well, she would be a unicorn. She would be my unicorn.
Oh.
And so she has like unicorn crap all over her room.
You see how he just melts?
Mm-hmm. He's gotten a lot squishy.
Not in the right places.
So, Chev, we know that you like to spend a lot of time outdoors, camping. You still go to races?
Fewer than we used to go to, but we do still go to races sometimes.
Right. Are you still in charge of? I remember at one time you were kind of like the chairman or the organizer of.
Hey, I gotta
events?
pause you. We have a guest, and so we're gonna take a 2-second pause if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And we're back. we had an old family member from Taurus just pop in to get some cups, so we wanted to say hi to her while she was here.
Her husband crushed the other cup. I have a picture of it. It's still usable technically, but it is definitely crushed.
Yeah. I didn't know exactly what that meant, like if he ran over it or not, because it's pretty bad.
She said that it got crushed in
In the recliner.
the recliner. That's a heck of a recliner.
You had to have known it was in there when you were crushing
Probably
it.
keep the kids away from that recliner.
Man, yeah, you lose a hand.
So Chev, I was asking you if you were still managing any of those events or anything like that.
A couple of years ago, we stopped being involved at a high level in TSEC, Texas State Championship Enduro Circuit. Lance used to be the president of that circuit. So then I would be sort of by proxy involved in a lot of stuff with my patience and my Excel skills, right? And then we were racing a different circuit, Blackjack Enduro Circuit, out of Arkansas mostly. And then Hayden got hurt, and the racing sort of stopped happening quite so much. So we don't chase any circuits right now. Lance races when he has a race he wants to go to, and we screw around the rest of the time.
So
Hayden, your son, who is now a part of the family as well.
Yes, he was going to kindergarten when I started here, and now he is a technician for Taurus.
That's awesome.
I saw on Facebook, it was you or Lance shared the last time you rode in a race and had won an award or a finish, or I'm vaguely remembering.
That was the end of year banquet, and I won the beginner women's series.
Okay.
So I would race on Saturdays, the same trail that the little tiny boys on their little tiny dirt bikes would race, and I would race for 45 minutes on Saturday around some 5-mile loop or whatever it was.
Oh, that's way better than I could do.
Sometimes I would cry, sometimes I would not cry. One time my KX85 failed, and I took it back to the trailer, and I came back on a different motorcycle, and they were like, "Wait, you just left on a motorcycle that was dead?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got a new one. We just put a shorter seat on it. I'm here to ride my ride." And they thought that was very cool.
So, how long ago was that? Like
That-
8 years ago, 10 years ago?
It was, yeah, Probably 8 to 10 years ago. I think that picture was 9 years old, the one that I shared on the Facebook the other day.
Yeah. It was recent, so it's a recent memory. You guys were talking about that.
Yeah.
Out of so since you like to be outdoors, if you could pick any one place that you could go to just one more time, or maybe a place that you hadn't been to before,
Anywhere in the
be?
world. Anywhere
Yeah.
in the world.
I like to go all the places that we've been. We go to Colorado and we go to the beach. Take turns every other year on the summer vacations.
pretty big differences.
We like the mountains and we like the beach for sure. But I do need to see the northern lights. So I have not figured out what destination or multiple destinations, right? But I want to see the northern lights.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I didn't think about that.
I think that you could see them. We were staying at a cabin called the Off Cow Camp Cabin in Colorado, which was a Forest Service station. No power, no water, like 100 square feet. There was 2 windows. You didn't think about how dark it was during the middle of the day when you have no power with they were like toddlers, or well, 6 and 8 probably. And you had to take the 4-wheeler 2 miles back there. When we rented it, you could drive our Jeep Cherokee. By the time we got there, the weather had been such that you had to be on a horse, a dirt bike, or a 4-wheeler to get there, or you had to walk, and we weren't going to pack mule or all of our crap in there. So we end up taking the 4-wheeler and the dirt bike and get all of our stuff back there. But we're hanging out one night, and you kind of can see this stuff on the other side of the mountain range. And my husband tells me, I think it's the Northern Lights. And I was not very convinced. You couldn't see very much of them, but nothing else really makes sense. It was random green flashes that you would just get a little glimpse of on the other side of the mountain range. So he was probably right. And then last year, there was a situation where something to do with the magnetic force was such that you were supposed to be able to see the northern lights as far south as Oklahoma and Colorado.
Really?
I didn't see them, but I was pretty excited for those folks.
That would be pretty cool.
I spent some time in Alaska for Taurus project, and we were there.
My project.
Yeah, one of your projects, as a matter of fact. Well, and one of his projects. And we were told that we were there during a period in which you could see the northern lights if it happened. It didn't happen.
So it's not a given, an automatic thing?
No. Yeah, you're...
Imagine the letdown. Like if you just went there for that. Oh, I'm here to do some skiing or hunting, but mainly here to see the northern lights.
Yeah, if you were to...
Cloudy the entire
If
time.
Chevas were to travel to, like central Alaska somewhere, I'm going to be here for 3 days just for the northern lights, and it doesn't happen.
Super bummer.
You just extend the vacation till it happens, right?
Right,
You just gotta work it out.
Just staying.
So, Chev, tell us something else that that we may not know about you. Maybe Corey and I know, because I think collectively we've got something like 45 years, or that's a lot.
Corey and I started about the same week.
Yeah.
It was a good hire for Taurus, I got to say.
So if someone were sitting there saying, a woman that graduated with a finance degree, that wore about 7 hats and then became a salesperson, we already know that she's obviously a dirt bike enthusiast.
She's an experienced outdoors woman.
What else do we not know?
I am pretty good in the kitchen. I like to have a good time.
So
If
hold on.
someone were to say, Chevas makes the very best,
That was
blank.
what I was going to ask. What's the go-to Chevas meal?
It involves one pot, whatever it is, or a grill. I am pretty much a master at the one-pot meals. My family just accepts it these days. But if it can all go in one pot, I'm going to come up with a way to make it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then I like to grill stuff. But I do really make a very mean scalloped potato with
Okay.
russet potatoes, sweet potatoes, 3 pounds of bacon, Gruyere, cheddar, and Fontina cheeses. And then you put
my.
it into the Dutch oven and you grill it.
That's
It's,
nice.
it's a smoker recipe. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Are you using a mandolin to
Yes.
slice your potatoes?
I've done it
perfectly?
both ways.
Why would you do it with a small guitar?
So you can sing over the rainbow while you're making your scalloped potatoes.
So you just right over the strings into the bass and then pour it out of the... Okay, tough crowd.
Yeah. Yeah. Audra's here in the building. I'll just have her explain it to you off camera.
Well, I didn't know you could use mandolins to cook.
Sometimes the mandolin is pretty dangerous, but you go like this. But when I made them in New Mexico a couple years ago for Thanksgiving, I did just take some sharp knives with me. I did not take the mandolin.
That's really cool. That sounds fantastic.
It's a recipe out of one of the smoker books I gave to my dad. But I
You don't
took
have to
pictures
tell
of,
people
like,
that. You could just
1,000.
say, this is the King potato recipe.
Well, I did modify it because a recipe is just a jumping off point. That's my other rule about life. It wants to have Japanese sweet potato also, which I to this day still have not seen. And no one ever says, "Hey, your casserole is missing something," and I think it's Japanese. So we just go with it.
If I ever get the opportunity to eat it, you can best be guaranteed I'm going to make a big deal about that in a group of people.
No, it's great. And it also taught me that sweet potatoes and russet potatoes go fantastically together. So normally they both go into potato soup now.
Yeah, my brain is over here trying to figure out like the sweet potato, russet potato.
Just trying not to
thing.
drool.
So good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make that for our next potluck. You just have to remind me.
Deal.
Done. Consider it done.
There you go.
Corey,
I
you
may-
got
I
a
may-
question for Chev?
I may have to make up a potluck just so that we can.
Yeah. I think we should do our spring,
We're gonna have a spring potluck.
early spring potluck.
I also want people to know that we're debt free. So we do all of these things, but we also handle our finances in a reasonable manner in the background. And
Wait, are you talking about Taurus? Because that sounds a lot like Taurus.
Chevas King,
Chevas King.
Chevas King and family? We're debt free. Our house has been paid off for several years.
Boom.
You recently kicked a
Bragger.
child out of your house too, right?
It was a joint decision, but yeah, he's 19 and he's moved out. His bed is gone. He's coming back Saturday to get all the rest of the stuff out of the room, and we're going to paint it and turn it into a bigger room for the next one.
So I know are you
No.
the next child?
Most
What?
people watching this
The-
think
the-
Chev is like 28. How does she have kids that she's already kicking out of the house?
You already have a she shed, so what are we gonna do with the empty space?
Well, I'm going to turn Paige's room into an actual home office, and Paige will move into Hayden's much larger bedroom.
Okay, all
So,
right. For a couple of years, and then
yeah,
she's getting Das Boot.
she's a senior. She's been back and forth on what she wants to do. Currently, she is on board with going to junior college because she'll get a scholarship, and at least the first 30 hours will be free.
Yeah.
And she's my kid. I try not to pressure her, right? I'm really trying not to put any sort of ideals or expectations on her. I'm really trying not to talk about all the money that we would save if she doesn't go to university as a freshman. And I'm like, if you really,
Yeah.
if it really didn't
Some type of
matter,
balance.
what do you really want to do? And she's like, well, I don't want to ask somebody else to pay for this. It's still money. Like I can go
Yeah.
and get the same education for free. She's my daughter. That's how I raised her.
We hire her as a technician.
Yep. No, she's a
She's a good one.
she's a hard worker. She's a wrestler. We're trying to.
Probably stronger than most of our technicians.
Oh yeah. We're gonna see if we can get
At
her
least
to
one I
region-
can think of.
Yeah, we're gonna see if we can get her to regionals this year.
Um,
There.
That'll
so,
be fun.
so imagine if you didn't join the Taurus family those years ago. What is it that you think you'd be doing today?
I don't really have a clue. I interviewed at a lot of finance companies before I took this job, and they didn't never really seem like exactly the right fit. Right? Funny enough, it was because they were all sales positions. I'm not a salesperson. That's not the role for me. But I think I would be selling lettuce, and I had written down something.
Lettuce.
Selling lettuce?
Yeah, I'm just gonna grow lettuce.
Just all kinds, or
All the lettuce.
Look at her pick up her notes.
I wrote something good, but now I don't remember. Oh, or I was going to let a sugar daddy spoil me. That
Oh,
that
nice.
was the other
Wait,
thing.
wait. You're not talking about the devil's lettuce, are you?
No, any kind of lettuce.
Any kind of lettuce. I
when she
prefer-
says sugar daddy, Lance, she's talking about you, right?
Sure. Any daddy with sugar sometimes.
That's so great.
I'm just gonna no comment.
Move on past that.
So
right.
so following that question then, when you're done here and you decide to retire, what is your retirement plan? Or if you were going to stop working here, would you go work somewhere else? Would you move to the woods and become a hermit? Would you
It probably depends
Would
on
you play the mandolin
Yeah.
while watching the Northern Lights?
I'm going to play the mandolin, and I'm also going to use it to shred the potatoes at the same time.
Sounds fantastic.
And
You're
watch
going to play the
Northern Lights.
mandolin with a potato?
Yeah.
I'd probably suggest doing playing it before you. It's going to get dirty.
It's probably somewhere between all of those things. If I didn't work at Taurus, I definitely would not work at a different AV integration company.
Well, I'm talking about
but
like
I-
when you finally age, right, as a human, you're not stuck at 28 forever.
I'm not aging.
and you're done working, what do you want to do?
I want to sit in my hammock and read things on my phone. But we will probably have some sort of rental property empire or something like that. I mean, got to do something with the money I'm not spending on a mortgage now.
Yeah.
So come up with some good way to do it, some
That
investments.
sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Some people do give us answers that are kind of outlandish, but really a little bit of it's going to be just relaxing and looking at things on our phone. That's just the honest truth.
Yeah, we'll
I mean, I do that now.
connect the travel trailer and drive across the country.
But not in the same way.
You're right.
You have spurts of it. What she's talking about is there is no concern, really.
The metrics on my
Besides
phone
making sure
don't
the
make me feel.
mandolin strings don't get,
The metrics on my
rusted.
phone don't make me feel like they're spurts.
Don't look at those, man.
Is your phone usage going up
When
week
you
to week?
retire, you turn off those analytics.
I think it's fairly flatlined.
Just all the time?
It's maxed out.
So we like to ask this question. It's sometimes it's pretty interesting. Can you give us a conspiracy theory that is somehow non-political?
I do appreciate you giving me the notes because off the cuff, I would not have an answer for you. But I hear there's birds that people think are drones,
Oh, I've heard that
and
too.
they're sitting on the power line to get charged.
Hold on. Let me.
That's already my conspiracy theory.
But
Answer
but
has
could
been
there
given.
be?
My little
Yes.
brother, I'll have to share. I don't know that he watches our show, but I'll share this one with him because I'm not entirely certain if he's being serious or not, but he's reasonably convinced that birds are not real. So you got it mostly right. Basically, the conspiracy theory is that birds as a species are not real. They are drones used to spy on populations. And yes, they land on wires.
All birds?
All birds. The
Isn't
entire.
it so
It's the
silly?
silliest thing I've ever heard.
Where does the poo come from if they're not real?
Well, to be fair, the poo looks kind of like spent dielectric grease.
I was expecting it.
But I don't know. This is not a conspiracy. I believe in a lot of conspiracy theories, like that the burger is a sandwich, but I don't believe in that one.
I didn't say I believed it. That's just my favorite one.
What's your runner up? Because you did your research. What are some of the others that you came
Just
across?
my favorite one.
No, there's no others.
Because
I'll take a good hard look at those power lines when we leave today.
I'm a well versed person as it relates to conspiracy theories.
There's definitely a lot of them floating around in the age of the vid, but there's no sense.
Well, I
in-
think just the age of being able to get information out in a few seconds to millions and millions of people.
Mhm.
You
Via
almost
birds.
just say what you want. There it goes.
Elon Musk is using birds to distribute Wi-Fi.
That
across the
conspiracy was
nation.
probably just a dinner conversation that someone took literal and told as a joke to someone else, and then that person told it as a pseudo joke to that person, and then that person was like, "Did you know that these birds are actually robots charging themselves? How else do they sit on the power line?" I can see it now.
It
That's
makes
how-
complete sense.
No,
Other
it
than
doesn't.
they're not real part. Like you could theoretically have a drone that could land on a power line to charge. Like that part is
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Wouldn't he need
Hundreds
some?
of years ago, without the power lines, the birds were real, but we
Were you
replaced
alive
them.
hundreds of years ago? Did
Fair
you
enough.
see a bird?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Look at Chevas' face.
Caw-caw.
What about I'll reverse it. Have you heard of the flat Earth theory?
No.
You haven't? Okay, then we'll skip right past it.
Yeah, good. I don't want to hear any more about it either.
It's similarly absurd.
So, Chev, tell us, and for the listeners and viewers, what it is you like most about working here at Taurus.
I like the importance on family. I mentioned that my son was in kindergarten. He started kindergarten 2 weeks before I started here. And he's played a lot of sports, and my daughter has played a lot of sports, and he's graduated, and she's a senior. And I'm very proud to say that I have never missed an event that my children were involved in. I might have had my laptop working in a gymnasium for several hours at a time, but I've never missed anything that my kids have done.
That is awesome.
And that is largely completely in part to the company that I work for.
That is so great. That's what I always want too.
Mm-hmm.
I always want not only for the employees but for myself to be able to never miss something. It's not like my parents missed anything really that they had an option for, but I don't want my kids to ever say, "Oh, Dad wasn't around." So that's cool. That's really great. I love that.
No, they won't say that. They know no one else might be in the stands, but their parents will be in the stands.
That's good.
Corey, you got any other questions for Chev?
I'm sure there are some on that paper on the floor behind me, but I don't recall.
What did we miss, Chev?
We've done that one. We've done the animal. Oh, a favorite movie line quote.
That's a good one.
Is it though? How well do you guys really know me?
Yeah.
You
There's
don't
going
watch
to be
a
some of
ton
our
TV,
colleagues that have
right?
joined the show
So-
that don't really watch movies. It's just really not their thing. They will, but yeah.
I fall asleep really is my MO, but I do like all right from Dazed and Confused. And then I really love they don't call it work for nothing, but I'm pretty sure Robert is the one that always says that. So I also brought my Chevas isms for you.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Nice.
This is a running list. Let's see, we've got the mouth is not a multitasker, gentlemen. Should be doing one thing at a time. Think
I
about
like
it.
that one.
You can't really talk and brush your teeth. It doesn't work very well. You don't get hurt sitting on the couch. Your kid gets hurt. They're all whiny,
Yeah.
cry.
Yeah.
Well, you had to be doing something cool to be getting hurt. So, hey, good job. And then they're like, oh, cool, thanks. And then they're not.
You've apparently never seen my son fall off the couch.
My friend's son, after this, he sits on the couch and breaks his arm somehow. So
Oh my
you have
gosh.
to be careful.
I think I'm going to use that one because it's obviously just straightforward and common sense, but I think a kid realizes that, oh, okay, yeah, I am crying because of that reason, because I was doing something cool.
Right. I
All
mean, good fall. And then it evolves into you don't get hurt sitting on the couch until you're old.
Along,
And then if you
yeah.
just sit on the
Yeah.
couch, then you're
Yeah.
just hurt.
There's a stopping point for that.
along those same lines, though, I thought as a parent I would probably never say I'm going to give you something to cry about, but I can check that one off my list.
Right. Like there should be a reason for those alligator tears rolling down your face. The rest of them are normal, nothing to it but to do it, and you get what you give. If you can't be kind, be quiet, and if you can't be quiet, be kind.
We're going to post those up on the screen so that way every one of you can share those with your loved ones, children, significant others. Words of wisdom from Miss Chevas King.
I'm surprised you don't have "It Is What It Is" on there.
I think she did.
She didn't say it.
Well, maybe it didn't make the list. I just say it too often.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
It's not really
natural.
It's not really an
It's
ism. It's just
no
a
different
way of
from
life.
waking up.
It's just a way of life. Probably words of wisdom are just enjoy what you do. Nobody gets out alive, so don't stress too much about it.
That's the truth.
That is perfect. Perfectly said.
That's a good way to end this.
Chev, we've loved that you've been a part of this family for this long. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you all again for joining us. We're going to do a couple more segments of this with a few other of our colleagues. If y'all have any other ideas on podcast subjects you'd like to hear or see, email us at info@taurustechinc.com. I hope you all have a great day, and thank you for watching.